Sabrina, ouais, plané, n'a pas comme elle Général Jamba, à Seuriol. Mon papa, t'as un bois, le boy même, mais qu'à pas moi là. Anissé, les blocs, merci beaucoup. Encore la magie, et puis il y a des démons. Aïe, et puis il y a des démons. C'est un j'ai été plié, les sacs, mais on est au plan one côté. Et pas pour faire de prévu, ne pas d'avoir à Saro. Et dans le bled, il y a un yawa, tu prends, on dit que tu as des manouos. Oui, oui, oui. Nyobe mone kayo. Kose oui, blé, maïe, agneme. Mon papa, connaît beau firme. Merci beaucoup. Et bien, oui, maïe, oui. Et les deux personnes se voient. Le très ancien Yves Kané, à Seigne Okaï. Le grand frère Oula Michael. Allons seulement. De oui, mais. Et en somme, non, de oui, mais. Classé maintenant, de oui, mais. Loi sans ma boîte, de oui, mais. Banon tient ma note, de oui, mais. La wadi ma note, de oui, mais. J'étais Florent. Oui, des sont des effets. Y'a bien patient de oui, ready. On est chichi, mon yahweh. On m'en a d'habillé, y'a pas. Oh, y'a pas mon pédio. Quand y'a un plaisir, soit fort ready. Soit fort messiah, et je dis papa. Mon yahweh, que ouais. T'as mon époix pour ça. Oui, yahweh. You the no place, so yeah. Casonzia, Cabra, the way. Bonia Salva, go the way. Popo Sagi, go the way. You want to find the way. The wood, the way, the 40, the way. Where the way you go. Mon frère Clay Armel, depuis très longtemps. For the way where the poor money. There was the way they must have been agitated. For the way where the poor man, there was the way where the young man. For the way where the poor woman, there was the way that Daniel Bells and more. The way you want someone more, dear. One idea in a guide, no popon. Oh, the idea, young man, my young way, you to that. Calvé, ya was a rock. Mais quitte yé, ça y a des touilles. À au stade français. We don't wait to let it. I don't wait to let it. I don't wait to let it out. You're going to a dear before it get to a way down way to let it. That's what I do. My way at the number that would be my down way to let it. Colonel Panelists, she appointed us to a corner down way to let it. Wait, my sound, yeah. Our mama was saying a sound, yeah. The Gemadia Kenemo was saying a sound, yeah. Wait, baby, come on. Where did you wait? Where you go away? Where you need any way? Tell them you are no any way. Oh, what a dear was moving again. You must want, I am a poor anyway. Ah, yeah, no money, my job, we don't wait, you don't let it. You don't let it. You don't let it. Mama, you are by your web. I go to where they will do. Tell it to a foul. I'm away, you don't let it. Mama, not that I get. I never want to the Wula. Oh, Simon, you do, you pray. My way, you don't let it. I never buy my water, you sound like I don't care. When I am down, I am going on the cloud. My way, you don't let it. I don't have any more glass, yeah. I'm a chatty. Yoka, you ain't right now. Some more by glass. Yeah, my way, you don't let it. My father, that's in the book.
Good evening, welcome. I'm Afonso Z and Sort of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. Today is Wednesday, and this is All Things Considered. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Taking you into neighboring La Côte d'Ivoire here this evening. You partaking in election, you want to be senator, you want to be president. Do you have the money to contest? Elections is all about money. So let's listen to some beautiful traditional music, and I'll be right back. Welcome to the show. Share the podcast for us. What a beautiful music right here from neighboring to La Côte d'Ivoire. Do you have the money? Do you have the money? We're going to start the show right here now.
Mon frère, je laisse moi, on va magnifier la femme, ouais.
Présidente Juliette Boson et toutes les mamans Amaoué dans le monde entier. Voici votre bébé. Madame Do Solange, la première dame du Guémon. Maman Jadid Sié, à Condio, Kankreblou. Ma maman Taïkoy Martine, à Sao Flyno. Ma grand-sœur Jacques Madia, des Français. Non, pour un non pas elle, mais pas ouais, ouais, non pas elle. Ah, aussi bon. Ni a bien fait quoi, pas vrai, tout payer. Guémon, non pas elle. Ah, aussi bon.
Good evening, folks. I'm Afonso Z and Sort of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. It's Wednesday. It is All Things Considered. You surely going to speak what's in your mind. Let's get the ball rolling. It's 8:08 Eastern Standard Time. Good evening. Welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe, right here in the USA, Liberia, other parts of the world. Today is Wednesday. Wednesday is a special edition, All Things Considered. From Wednesday to Wednesday, we'll try to catalog and look in those baskets and some of the news making headlines. I call you the opportunity to make decisions, to speak to your mind. Why do you think it's important? Not necessarily sometimes we talk on things that you want to hear, and we do understand that. And so we created this forum, this outlet, this day, special for you to speak your mind. Maybe perhaps something happening in Bezon, in Lofa, in Salaye, in Grandjide, in Sastan, in Sino. But we don't talk about it because we have been driven by so much that is ongoing. So this program empowers you to speak to those issues. We're going to be putting the number out here for you to participate by putting in your call. Your commitment to this network, it cannot be overemphasized. Trust us, and we trust you, and we'll try to do the best we can. The good thing about LPR is very much inclusive, bringing professionals, people with the experience, the knowledge, the skill, and they are able to express their view. From time to time, we will continue to add faces to this network as long as it comes to Liberia and their commitment to have this conversation. Someone special is here this evening. Introduction to introduce people is something that I find very difficult because sometimes you leave out some good pieces of information. But what I do know, he's no stranger into this business. He's a very old hand, legendary. He's an advocate, great writer. The list is huge. I intend not to interfere with his intro. He will get it done himself. And you're going to know. One good thing we have not asked yet is we always gave our analysts to allow themselves to make their own political decision. That way the audience, our viewers, know exactly where to stand when they are making these arguments. And so that would not be a different skill here this evening. We will also ask that question. I have never asked that in the in the backyard, but we asked that, and they have the right. Whether it's independent, whether it's the parties in like the too plenty, the too boku, and everybody is a right of every Liberian sons and daughter to have that political accommodation to be able to discuss this issue. I am Afonso Z and so right here this evening. Hopefully the panel is going to be joining me. But in the meantime, let me just bring in a friend and brother who has volunteered. We don't have money, but good people, we talk to them and out of their own volition, they say, Walt, I like what you guys are doing. They want to be part of the conversation, part of the talking point. We're like, okay, we sign a paper, I get no money to pay you. You agree? Yes. Good evening to welcome. It's 8:11 Eastern Standard Time. He's here, right here within my own Ocean State and other places here. But let me just bring in Mr. John Tamales. A's will be contributing right here on the Liberia Public Radio. Let's see here. He's been involved in a very long time. But let me bring in Mr. Ty Malik Jones here. He's joining me right here from the Ocean State of Rhode Island here this evening. All hands and a legendary journalist. Okay, Mr. Jones, let me take that. I want to do it the Sierra Leonean way. They take the first knee can become the mister, and they take the last when they do it the other way. No matter where it is, it's John Malley. Okay, good evenings and welcome.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Executive Director. I want to thank you for inviting me on your most elaborate platform.
Okay. Interestingly, you're going to be joining other group of folks here from the various political background, whether they are independents, whoever they are, but you will get to know. But so we'll be having this conversation here. So like you rightfully comment, introductions is not one of the things that I'm really used to, because in the entrance you leave out some great information, and so I like for people to have that as well. So let's I don't need it, but for the good of our audience, sometimes people quick to judge people by who they are or whatever reason, with the limited information they jump the guns here. So let's hear it. Let's hear that huge resume. You've been involved in this media as far as data back home, writer, good writer, and all of that. So who is John Malley?
Well, thank you, Executive Director. Jones Malley, he is a gentleman who hailed from Lofa County. I classify myself to be one of the sons of Lofa County. Specifically, I was born in Kolahun District. My mother hailed from Zoxal, and my father come from Kolahun District. So it seems to be I'm a full-blooded Lufian, as I may want to classify it to be, because my both parents here from there. I live also in Rhode Island. I've been in Rhode Island for the past 19 years. I'm married with 4 beautiful kids. Before coming to the United States, I served as the public relation officer for the Liberian Petroleum Refinery Corporation. And through that medium, I was able to connect, interact with hosts of journalists in Liberia. I became contributor to the Mirror newspaper, where I have my good friend Jerome, who once served as editor-in-chief. And currently, I'm running a column in the New Dawn newspaper. I'm looking at some political issue. The title of the column is Political Hot Fire. I try to digest a few things about our country. As you rightly said, we cannot disconnect ourselves from home no matter what.
Right.
Be it good, be it bad, we have to keep up with this, I may call it the civilized or modernization way of connecting ourselves back home. Even though most of us come here and we get consumed by the Western culture and we try to get ourselves disconnected. And so there's the reason why sometimes I appreciate all these social media platforms that continue to remind us that there's a need to be connected back home, no matter what. It may look so ridiculous. It may look so unacceptable. It may not be what I've wished for in terms of the type of team that is running the country as a government. But all in all, we were fortunate to come into the diaspora. And so we cannot disconnect ourselves from the motherland. And so at the end of the day, I must commend the Liberia Public Radio and TV for reminding us that there's a need to stay be in touch with the motherland. And that one good thing, I want to thank all the social media. I want to thank you all for doing that, because some of our brothers may not be on your platform today, but trust me, you guys have done ton and ton of tremendous good work for them, telling them what's happening back home. Yes. So this is Jones Marley. From my educational background, well, I hate to say, currently I'm a doctoral candidate from the North Central University. I obtained my 2 masters from the Grand Canyon University, and currently I'm looking into educational leadership and pray that by the end of this year, I hope I will be a doctoral product and see how best not to add to the list of the doctoral population, but how best I can use that tools to lift a dying child in Liberia. I thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. We've been in the community, we are involved in multitudes of roles, so we're not going to go into that. That's not significant to the Liberian people. What is important is what is ongoing. One thing that you left out, and I want to be quick to jump on that, is 90% of our conversation here is more or less political, because that seems to be the driving force, the determining factors of our daily who, because these people, they make decisions for us. You know that. So let's hear you here. There are multiple political parties in Liberia, and I know here. Do you have any political affiliations, just to set the pace and clarity for our listening audience, because they're going to be listening to you from time to time? Have you, I'm talking about currently, if there was anything in the past you want to disclose that, that's okay as well. But do you have a political side? Have you made a political decision? Have you make a pick? CDC, Liberty Party, Unity Party, ALP, or other party with our chairman? The list goes on. Is there any political affiliation attached to you, Mr. Mali?
Oh, thank you, Executive Director. I want to be very blunt on this. I do not have any affiliation with any political party. But I have 2 significant reasons for that. I have always tried to focus on the presidential material rather than focus on the team building process of the presidential material. That is, I must be part of a political party to support a president in Liberia. No. I would like to support a president based on the substance of the president, not based on the characteristic of the political party. For example, I voted for Helen Johnson Sirleaf if I'm not mistaken, in 2005. Not as a unity party partisan, but I voted for her for 3 reasons. One, I was convinced within myself that she has the international exposure and she will use those political pedicure to connect Liberia and take Liberia to a certain level. 2, I felt she was whole hand in the business and she was not an apprentice to come and start learning on the job before starting about what to do. And so I felt I was in the safe hands. 3, I decided to vote for Helen Johnson Sirleaf because she stood the test of time and even stood against some government in Liberia at her own detriment, where she would have met her demise long before she would have even thought of running. She survived. And so I gave her the credit and tried to link her to some of the essence I found in the late Nelson Mandela. And so in the nutshell, I tend to rather vote for a candidate rather than voting for a party that is putting up a candidate.
So those were your determining factors for which you made that political choice.
Yes. And Mr. Executive Director, I would like to tell you that as of now and up to present, I'm not an independent. I don't like to give myself no nomenclature, a partisan, an independent, no. As of now, I still stand by those philosophy. Currently, I am viewing all the politicians in Liberia, especially the front runners, and I see myself, what do I want from them? I see myself, is Mr. A fitting into my criteria, my definition for good president? Do I see the relevance in this Mr. A or Mr. B?
To create that awareness, Mr. Jones,
Yes.
for our listening audience, if I
Yeah.
could ask, what is your definition for president? Maybe other people out there could learn from that.
Okay, thank you, Executive Director. My definition right now for president, I have just 3 simple definitions. 1, you must come from that patriotic background. And when I'm talking about coming from that patriotic background, it's like you must have a very critical mind of what is good, not for you, not for your wife and children, but what is good in quote for the country. That 1. 2, what is your level of exposure? Because to develop, you must be encountered by some other thing you have seen around, for which you have the urge to take your country to that level. 3, you must be non-materialistic. Because I have realized that most of our comrade or colleague or friends think about the presidency as an elephant meat, a place where I can come and just generate some money and live a better life, a place where I can come and just use my power to amass wealth for myself and my close relative. You see? So those are the 3 little things I may want to use to define a president. And maybe you may want to ask me, I'm not talking about, I did not add the educational factor to it.
Why?
I did not add the educational factor to it. I did it deliberately.
Why?
Because education is defined from diverse view. Going to school, sitting down in classroom, taking note, graduating, and get a degree is not all to leadership, quote unquote, to the presidency. There are some other so many serious factors. Like for instance, the issue of connectivity. I may come from a high school level, but I'm so exposed that I'm exposed to the United States. I got a whole lot of contact, and people are prepared to do a whole lot of things for me and my wife and my children. But I'm not educated. And so I use my expertise, my connectivity, and my connection and talk to 5, 6 senators. I said, look, my wife, oh God.
Yeah, so just see what I can. You
Over.
want let me okay, just first I will monitor it in the background and just have it maybe retreat it if you can lock it up, that would be do. Good evening, folks. The conversations is gradually getting on the way. Mally Jones, he's a senior contributor to the New Dawn newspaper, serial columnist, been reading a lot of his critical article as well. Just bear with us. As soon that background stuff is fixed, we're going to get him on here. Sometimes these devices, let me see here if I can get him off. Let me just get him off and see. No, okay, it's still having an issue. Let me just get him off and then he can come back. Okay, I'm Afonso Zian, so what of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV? We said it all should be held accountable. Even the viewers, the listeners, and those who writing comments. Your comment does affect people. Whether it's good or bad, it's somehow, somewhere impactful. It can be in a good, bad font, it can be in an ugly font, or whatever it is. We are not the one to determine that, but the public can judge you. Well, we want to thank you so much for your time, and hopefully the other rest of the folks will be joining us here as well. Today is All Things Considered from Wednesday to Wednesday. There's a lot going on, so we'll be putting the number out here, and we will hopefully to have people to contribute here to call in as well. He's back in the media, Yeke Koluba. It looks like going to be from one press conference to another press conference here. Okay, latest we are hearing, as you know, the ongoing investigations or indictment of the CEO of the sister network, Spoon TV. It has been reported that Mr. Wallace Spoon is expected to appear tomorrow. It's better to be in court tomorrow. We keep monitoring to what is happening. Only one person says it's not gonna appeal because her lawyer is out. So Sanont will not be there, but we are hearing Wallace Spoon is expected to appear tomorrow. As you know, last week there was an arrest, but they have like an insurance bond. All of these big institutions, they have this policy. You yourself, you can do it. You can file in for that. Some of them are more like $1 million, a little nothing that you can just pay. You know, this country, there's so many ways to get money. You pay that in case of any issue, problem, that steps in, it kicks in, and then say, okay, go home and then come to court and give you your day. So we will be monitoring to what is happening. It's a tough one, told me. It's a tough one because there are other folks that are cooperating with investigators. They're going to make it very, very difficult as to how it's going to be like. But we are not here to exaggerate or to manufacture news because we want people to listen, because we want people to glue to, or we're going to say as it is. And that's what we need to be doing. So don't be just cooking sources. When you know you get no source to call, you get nothing to say. Do not make up, do not manufacture, don't bring in falsehood, subliminal messages, and all of those kind of things because you try to get people to get connected with you. It's wrong, it's unprofessional, and it's unacceptable. Ask Mr. Samuel Abu, he will tell you that. So these are very volatile and dedicated issues, so we got to make sure that we discuss that as well. Well, the president of the Republic of Liberia, Taleb went to La Cote d'Ivoire and is back in the country. Much going on. So hopefully the analysts, some of them going to be joining us here. But let's see here. Let's see here. We also like to get it from that's the executive mentioned the official website. I said the president departs. That was on the 7th. Which was yesterday, and he returns to the country today. He was in Yamoussoukro, very beautiful city. Yamoussoukro is just a boy home of the late Felix Houphouët-Boigny. What did they go for? African sub-region to participate in Felix Houphouët-Boigny Peace Award. So our understanding, the president was able to meet with some of his counterparts. And hopefully the details can come out of that. But let me just put a number out here this evening so that we can have this conversation. What are you considering from your end? What is important? What perhaps we should be talking about and we are not talking it? If that's the case, you can call in here and see what making news. Kaluba, he was in the press conference against today, man. It looked like no sleep, there will be no sleep in that town there. So with this guy 443, just give me a 1 second. It's 02 to participate. Just call and tell us what you're considering from your end, and then we will have you a conversation here. Too much is ongoing. Too much is just ongoing that we can just easily process as one. Okay, that's the number right there. And I'm going to put it right here. It's also available via WhatsApp. And as soon as our guy comes back, we're going to continue with the conversation. But in the meanwhile, okay, that's the number that we want to allow you to have or say here. It's about Liberia. So we must all have this conversation. We must all keep this conversation. It's important. We must all keep this conversation. But let's see. News is news. Viewer distraction. Viewers distraction is advised. Maybe there must be some hard content words here by the honorable man. So you also used to it. Let's see, our contributor, Madam Tabalian, is also here. So let's listen to our man. Yesterday, he declared a campaign open. Is it the election commission? I don't know. But he said nobody's going to stop him. He was out again today. He was out again today. So let's see here. Let's bring this here, and I'm going to bring in Madam Balayan as well.
Take Ambassador, we are on down. Look, we are going to post our cap numbers.
Cash up?
Yes. Okay. We need our people's support. Look, we need to do this thing together. We can't sit here and put one campaign in the opposition, not one campaign. All the thing I'm doing is my own initiative. We will put support. We'll put up the mobile money number for Liberia. The one for the diaspora, I will give it to you. People can post
People are starting saying post it now.
Yes, yes. If you are not seeing men before, we got men in this country. I don't need no lawmaker to join me.
We also like to read the cash app number.
No, just for last week Saturday, they took all the road for money and used it. We need your support. Look, you're giving the support I want, me. I beg you, man. I hold your foot. I beg you people, you're giving the support I want. And my banner stay there. They said I'm going to take my banner down. One needle on Ambassador Ambassador Bwaka banner. Not on the banner, just on the banner one see hold there. Or on comment banner. One see hold there. I will took hold on draw we are on the banner on her eyeball. I challenge you people. They are giving the support.
Oh my goodness. Koto, good evening. You get on a banner, but you a jugo. Oh my goodness. Well, man. Good evening. Welcome.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. So. Good evening to the people of Liberia and people around the world.
Yeah.
We're glad to be here today again discussing the issue of Liberia. And I'm glad to be part of this discussion,
Always.
a discussion that will bring Liberia to a change state, that will make Liberia known around the world like we were before, in a respectable manner, not in a destructive way. And that's what we are praying for. Let's Liberia be on top again.
Okay. Let's Liberia be on top again. So let's see here. Something now right here. Why is something just I can see it. Why is it not displaying something? All right, we'll see. Let's figure out. Okay. It started yesterday. It's ongoing again today. He was in the news yesterday. He is in the news today. But first, this is all things considered. So let me just give you the opportunity. Maybe there are other things you are tracking from your end, or you monitoring, or you observe as well. What is more concerning this week? Perhaps we didn't talk about, or you didn't finish up. You wish to finish up. What is where your focus leading?
My focus is actually directed towards the election commission. I, this is a crucial election coming, and it doesn't seem like it's uh, serious actually to the election commission, because I know before election goes on there, I preparation that need to be made, especially like things like voter education, a lot of things that should be initiated at this time. Like this time, we will have various what they call these various groups that they always. That's the I've forgotten, most of the thing about life right now.
Are you talking about
Social, what they call these
the awareness?
no, not awareness. These groups that actually used to go be involved with the electoral process in giving the electoral education. That is the social group.
They
Or,
have they have tons of these groups in the place there.
yeah, I no longer
You know the supervision of the election commission, or
know the electoral educations, voter educations, and civil society group.
the civil society group.
Yes. I don't know. I had to hear about civil society groups, being involved in these activities. I don't know whether I'm not following it or what, but I really not seeing it this time around. Because even when I remember, I used to be part of one of the groups, and we were all, invited to be part of the voter educations and so forth. So, but for now, I'm not hearing about them. I don't know whether they have been absorbed into political groups or what they are
Everybody try
now.
to find accommodation. That's the thing. That's the interesting thing. Everybody want to find political accommodation now. So who knows? Maybe they are infused into one of these political
Yeah,
parties.
so it's kind of concerning, because who are these people now that will hold the feet of the election commission? And these were the people that were at the forefront, because in such a thing, election is not the government who they should be going to, but it should be the social group that should be actually reinforcing the voice of the people in the mind of the National Election Commission.
But
But I
but,
up to
but they are
date.
not regulated by election commission. That I don't think so. Not the government. So what's happening? And I think that's a very valid point, because that makes it advocacy and this interest group, so-called interest group, it makes it sort of difficult. Everything seems to be like a little wait and see attitude. Perhaps whether they are provided any information, so that's another aspect. Information comes to them, then they should be able to take it out. But people should be able to create some sort of awareness. Is the
I'm really not seeing a vibrant civil society group. I don't know, probably because I'm not in Liberia now, but I'm not hearing the voices of the civil society group as compared to before, where civil society was, was actually the voices that were airing the ears of the government, and they were at the front, and they were like almost the spokespeople for government. But I hardly see them. I don't know whether they have been dissolved or being absorbed into political parties. That's my question. So this is actually concerning to me, because now who's going to be holding the national election to his feet? Okay, we see right now. I don't know whether the political parties are playing their role too. That everything that the National Election Commission does, they make sure that they are aware of it. But I'm yet to be corrected, but I don't see it actually like it used to be. So I could be wrong.
Okay, I think Dr. Toto, yeah, anyway, he's still
And
settled.
another thing is that you were talking about Yeke, and you play the tape for Yeke. And I'm one of those who don't like the way Yeke, is vocal on issue. But again, is Yeke saying what is happening is the true Yeke saying? Yes, it's the true Yeke saying. So if Yeke is saying it is true, only that his mannerism or the way he approaches the issue is bad, then again, I say that, it is not bad, because he is actually airing some of these airs of, the government. And because you will say the way the manner in which he expresses it is bad, but then again, then that could be his way of handling the issue. But I think like for what he said, you can have the sitting president running a campaign, and you have the other people sitting there, and they're doing nothing about it. And it's so sickening that people are in a country, they will only wait until they run out of the country and start causing noise. But when they are there, they don't talk. I think when I say people laugh at me, but like Yeke seems to be the only man who stands against the government. He's the only one that stands, and he is in the country. He's not running to be in other country before talking. The rest of the people you see, then they run out of Liberia in another country and then talking against the government. But Yeke is there, and he's standing and challenging the government to prove him wrong, or to challenge them in all levels.
That's
I
what
think
I
that's
have
what
it.
it should be. That's
Well,
what all political parties, political party groups should be doing, to stand for their party. If you're standing for the people, why don't you stand for them now? When are you waiting to stand for them? Okay, so
okay, it's interesting. We got our own campaign that we're about to launch, and my vice president is here. Oh my goodness, good to have her back. This crazy stuff here. Let me bring in Dr. Toronka, who's also support the candidate of
good to see you, Daddy.
oh, she's
Co-
back
There
here.
was
Good
a
evening, Di.
conspiracy.
Welcome.
These opposition party threw COVID at me because they
Oh
heard
my
the news.
God. Good to see you back there.
Thank
That
you.
playing
I
field.
miss you, Miss Cotto.
That playing field. That big playing field for them.
It fell. So we are launching and we coming after them. Trust me.
Yeah, sure.
I know.
See you back, man.
Okay, Di, it's good to have you back from this ugly here. I thought I said when you went like a doctor and all of that, I thought they are immune to COVID. I didn't know that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. My kids,
Okay.
my kids have been running around scared of me as if I have leprosy or something in my house.
That one, when you get that one, everybody, people, they social distance or whatever it becomes. But good to have you here. How are you doing now, by the way?
Good to be back. I'm well. First day I went back to work today for the first time. So I'm very well. Thank you. Thank you all for the prayers, for the well wishes, for hoping well for me. I really felt the love. Thank you. You kept me entertained on the chat. I mean, that was just awesome. Thank you so much. I feel really good.
I mean, that's how it's supposed to be. So it's good that you are back. Well, a lot been happening, and I'm quite sure you were, even despite I'm quite sure you were still picking through to see what was going on because
Yeah.
a lot is happening, uh, yeah, as well. So overall, a good to be back. But the race is really getting to the interesting part now. Coalitions, people that amalgamated during the last time here, everybody things fall in the path. We don't wish us to see it happen, but that's the political struggle. We will always see this, and at the end of the day, the dust will settle.
Yep.
The Reverend Prince Johnson and the Reverend on the other end, hell is breaking loose, so we just don't know what's going on.
Everybody on the pulpit.
Yes, yeah, and they go into the pulpit. The vice president.
But something about this. Why is it they don't talk until they go behind the pulpit? Is that a hidden place?
You know,
Seriously.
the pulpit is a safe place because
That should be
when you're on that pulpit, nobody's going to say anything to you. You feel empowered, and everybody listens to you. I mean, they're kind of listening, especially when you're standing on the pulpit. That's a different ear people give to you. So, I guess
more or less, it's a comfort zone.
A comfort zone, yeah, it's a comfort zone.
Pulpit, you ever saw anybody putting finger out to ask? It's not a Sunday school for you to ask a Sunday school teacher.
That's right.
The scripture, you throw your own scripture out there, so no microphone gonna be there to ask to do a follow up.
But the thing about it, I have never heard your pastor. We are quoting scripture. You're proving wrong. All alone in a church, I wouldn't hear you.
Is he not your pastor?
I have never.
You know, they
pastor
actually
teaching what that you should be teaching the Bible, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Is that pastor be going to teach? Or I don't hear him quoting scripture to teach the word of God.
No, he does at times. Except this gone 1 year, it was better. Yeah. But let's see here. People trying to consider other things that we are not considering. 612 number 3168. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Mr. So.
Okay. Good evening. Welcome, Terry.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah. So let's hear from you. What's your concern this evening for the last week that we didn't talk about?
Yeah, actually, you guys are talking about everything I think that need to be talked about. But I think President Weah is really, really messing things up when it comes to his re-election, and the opposition is not fighting back. I think the weakness of the opposition is giving leverage to President Weah, that they are never able to take advantage of every missteps that he keep making. Otherwise, they are making fun out of it. All right, they're making posts and making fun out of Prince Johnson when they should be taking advantage of trying to reach out to Prince Johnson, given the situation that Prince Johnson is faced with right now. They're only making posts and making fun out of the situation. And as President Weah loses ground with Nima County, because obviously if President Weah does not incorporate Prince Johnson, it will be very difficult for him to win Nima County. And if he don't win Nima County, I doubt that he could win the elections. All right. So people are not really looking at numbers. People are looking at popularity that could be put up by any political party. We saw President Weah putting out thousands of people 2011, and he never won the election. We saw him putting out thousands of people in the first round in 2017, and the first round gave him only 30-something%. All right. So the elections in Liberia is all about numbers. There are certain counties that you have to win in order to win the election. Bon County, Nima County, and Montserrado County. Once you win those three counties, it will be very easy for you to win the election. So, but you cannot only depend on Montserrado County and few other counties in the southeast and think that you're going to emerge to become victorious. So you really need Prince Johnson, and you need the Bon County group of people in order for him to secure victory.
Okay, so before we let you go, in other words, despite all that is unfolding, the opposition is not making wise of this to catch up. Is that what you're saying?
That's my point. They are not taking, they are not seizing the moment. Like Ben can always say, they are not seizing the moment. They're making mockery instead of seizing the moment. instead of using this particular weakness of President Weah to draw the opposition to them to start making significant talks with people like Queen Johnson and all of that, they're not doing it. They're just staying back and making mockery. And before they realize anything, President Weah will go back and because if Queen Johnson do not see the opposition seriousness, he will definitely remain with the devil he been seeing all along.
All right, that's a critical piece here. And okay, thank you so much. Okay, guys, let me come back to you here. And this is why it's good to get the views and opinions of our listeners and followers. Terry is making the argument that despite of everything, looking here and there, people going behind the pulpit and throwing the jobs and all of that, the opposition is not seizing the movement to catch up or to kind of like just do a one knockout. I'm not sure exactly what he wants them to do, but does he have a point? Is the opposition not doing?
I think, he has a point, and it pointed me back to the last election when we won against JB. I think I read a commentary somewhere, and he's onto something, because the campaign for JB, they were focusing on the fact that Weah couldn't speak very much. His diction was not all that. So when he says something like they're poking fun rather than pulling at the really meat and the detrimental nature of some of the statements and how his campaign has been, I think he makes a point, because that was some of the I read in some of the commentaries about why JB lost that election to Weah back in 2016. And one of the things that struck out was the fact that they were pulling more on his,
Oh boy, and it's a let's see here, let's see here when you come up. Yeah, why persistent? Okay, let's see here. We're not getting the check your audio system. Let's see. Dr. Toronka, we're not getting. Are you hearing us? We're not. Hold on one second. We're not hearing you.
Yeah, somebody call her. I think that's why.
Yeah. Are you there? We're not hearing you. Let's see.
Somebody call her phone. I hope somebody call her phone. That's why.
Yeah, the audio is corrupted. So I'm gonna get you off, and then maybe you can come back. Okay, let me just
put it on. Don't disturb, or else anybody call again will do the same thing.
Okay, while she's working on that, you listen to Cherry. The opposition, they are not seizing the movement. They are not catching up. Okay, you know what? Let me just get it off, because sometimes when the system, when the audio is corrupted, it just make it difficult. She will come back here and let's see. You listen to Terry's argument. What are you hearing me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Mm-hmm. So I say you listen to what Terry was saying here. Is the opposition doing enough, or everybody just like, okay, all right, let's see here.
All right. Now I'm back.
Yeah, I think it might. Maybe you just put that on do not disturb, because sometimes they will just keep calling and here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Carry on. You were saying something. And
no, I was saying that he makes a point. Once the election gets underway, the poking fun at some of the things that the president may say, for example, his diction, or he doesn't know how to speak properly and things like that. I think that resonated somehow in the previous election, and I think the people don't really care much about that, because unfortunately, I'm not trying to down our people, but you have a over 60% illiteracy rate in Liberia. So when you talk about people not speaking properly or mispronouncing words and poking fun at him, I don't think that's going to resonate too much with the people. So he's right. Get at the meat, at things that he's failing at, and point it out to them instead of poking fun at him. So I kind of agree with that.
Yeah. So do you think by people even doing that, it benefits him, that people will sympathize with him, or the same quote unquote countryman, he doesn't know nothing, and that could potentially resonate with those who found themselves in that category? Could that possibly be some of the reason?
I highly agree with that, because people who are not as literate, they're going to think, oh, you coming with a big English and things like that. So they need you to focus on what can you do for us, not what language or what English he's not speaking. You know what I mean? So for that piece that he made, and I saw that in the commentary after the elections, when people were trying to give their reasons why, and these were political analysts that were talking about some of the focus on why he lost the election. So he might be right. Start poking at his failures, start pointing out at his failures, which is a slew of them. There's no shortage. So poking at him, I don't think that's going to go a long way.
Koto?
Yeah, for me, I'm looking at a different point, we saw, when they say opposition, people only looking at the political party, yes. But let's look at the common man. Okay, let's look at the common man. If you are now where we are, you are opposition. Just look at the example for this. In the what they call the CDC program, they put up these few days. You hear them saying that Liberia is hard, and they are saying that they're not supporting our government. If you are not supporting the man and you are not supporting his government, why put up such a rally? Why go there in the first place? And you hear them saying we're not supporting the man, we're here. Why go there in the first place?
That's right.
People are not sincere to yourself. I don't even like people saying opposition party. Is the opposition party going through the suffering that the Liberian people going through? I really don't think we should be going that route to talk about, our political party, the people that are not serious. Your people are not serious. What you're doing, is that what the serious thing you're doing? So the international community will look at you and say, okay, this is the person you're pleased to be with. This is the person you want to be with. Okay, you're stay where you are. Okay? For me, that's how I look at it. You're happy of being where you are. So stay there. Because if you can't come up to say, I'm not satisfied with this government, I will not go to a rally, I will not eat their money, I will not even put on a t-shirt. And stand by what you say. You expect the political leaders then to go and say what? And they expect you to be there to support you. And they're speaking.
But there's also,
I'm looking at it from a different perspective. Okay? It is not the leaders that are suffering. It is you, the common people, that are suffering. They complain every day and that they're suffering. But yet, put on a t-shirt and go out there. What it shows? It shows that the man is popular. Okay, let's agree. Let the man win and sit there. Who going to feed it? Who actually going to?
No.
For me, that perspective, I'm looking at. I'm not looking at the political leader to say the opposition. The opposition is the very common people who are the oppositions that are doing that. I'm looking at, because they are the ones suffering. They are the one the political leaders struggling for.
Yeah, but
how many are the political leaders suffering?
So
how many of them?
No, but then I think that's a serious problem. If the political leaders, they are the driving force. If we were argue, say, because these people are wearing the t-shirts, they are going there, and so it means that's the end of it. Should allow them. They shouldn't make their case why it is important, their decisions they are making, the consequences of their decisions, to just let them go to that. Is that how do you think that would be a good strategy for them?
I am saying the common Liberians should not sit there and say that the problem should only lie in the hand of the political leaders. They should also take stand. For example, if people were acting the way Yeke behaving now, Joshua would not be doing what he's doing. Joshua says there, the man go for 48 days and come back, and nobody cares. Nobody cares about it. Then you said that you're suffering. You sit there and put your hand between your legs. Your suffering going to be over? Sit there and it's going to be over.
Okay.
I'm not,
we're gonna be having
okay,
Mr. Jones.
that's my own way of looking at it. You are creating more suffering on yourself and think you're creating it for the political leaders. But the political leaders, they will not suffer like you are suffering.
All right, so Mr. Jones is back with us. We're going to be getting some of the reactions coming from online. Mr. Jones, welcome. The ladies, our queens, they are here. But this is why Mr. Joseph, they call Mr. Joseph Bolu is saying here. It reminds me about a video in one of the chat rooms say people should stop sending money. This is what he's saying.
But you think my partner, I'm going to be wasting my money on people who happy of the state they're in? Why should I waste my money? And they are happy.
We need to stop sending money to Liberian people. That is the only way they will know that they are suffering.
And the man boasts of it. Listen to his speech. He boasts of the turnover from the money that is transmitted to Liberia. He boasts of it, and that one of his source of income. The remittance.
No, but
the remittance is one of the things that was in his speech.
Yeah, but it's
and they are happy of it.
So well, I mean, but the thing is, that's a fact. Are you saying that was a wrong thing? He acknowledged the fact. So
he acknowledged
Marlon Jones.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is all things considered. These are our contributors. The other gentlemen then will be here as well. They will be coming in yet. Are you saying here people say we should stop sending money to the people, so that's the only way they will know that? I mean, that's his view, of course. Yeah, that's the only way out. That's when they will know that they are suffering, or probably they could be making an informed decision. Is that a workable strategy for an opposition that wants to take country? If other citizens say we should stop sending money and then they should just bring it out, would that be the solution?
Stop sending money there.
Oh, thank you, Executive Director. Before I take the issue into my surgical room, let me first of all apologize that my cell phone has decided to disobey my instruction this evening on this platform by just going off and on. But however, I've appealed to it to remain intact as we go through this platform. Yes, I decided to go to Lofa, but I said no. But anyway, with the issue our sisters or the panelists are addressing here, first of all, with all due respect, I want to welcome them, and I think Liberia is now taking a different trend to see some of our sisters getting involved in the kind of a critical analysis. I really want to take my hat off to them. Yeah. And they should all be encouraged to be part of the bandwagon.
Oh, yeah.
The issue of not sending money to Liberia, in my own thinking, I think it would be disingenuous on my part, because I want to inform my panelists that the statement not sending money to Liberia or remittance to Liberia is a political trap to create a confusion between you and your sibling and your people back home. And when the trouble starts and when the house is on fire, trust me, President Weah or whosoever political leader will be sleeping sound. So it's a political trap. Keep sending money to your people. Keep helping them. The president or whosoever will use it as a political bit to boost his morale and maybe tell you that it's not necessary. But any attempt to buy into that, you will be creating a revolution between you and the downtrodden in your family in Liberia. So it would be disingenuous on my part if I took that decision only to support the view of a presidential material or an incumbent.
Okay, Sissy, good evening, welcome. I'm not sure the author of this writer is kind of like vague.
They're so serious this evening, so what happened? That's it. He was a serious face.
I'm in another strategic meeting on my phone. So I was listening to somebody, and then I came in and listened to as a speaker, I was being fiery, so I was trying to figure out how I came in on here. So, welcome to Ronka. Nice seeing you.
He's about to stare out something. So when
now
you
I can get in trouble, right? Because the lawyer is here, so I can get bailed out, right?
Good trouble.
And I can waive my right to reading of the indictment at the grand jury. All right.
So I don't know how that can resonate with me. I have my daughter there, siblings, nephews, nieces. So he didn't say don't send to your immediate, but I'm not sure what is a strategy. I know it's kind of like it's something, but I'm not sure what is a working strategy. Well, so okay, to welcome Dr. Turonka, you want to respond to that? Will you stop sending money? Is that the only way out that we can do it?
No, I'm not. I'm not even going to entertain that statement because for what? Like, how is it helping or hurting the country? Or politically, it's I think someone just want to hear themselves talk by making that statement, to be honest, because it does not. The reason we have to send money is because, you know, these political leaders have run the country in the hole, and they have no financial structure for the country. So the people now, there are no jobs. There are no good financial stability. So the burden is some of these family members who are abroad having to send money to help their families. But as Mr. Jones is saying, that's a personal thing. You know, I will continue to help my family members. We will continue to invest in their lives in the country. But the reason the people are in the situation that they are is because of poor political structure. We took our lives, we elected you to be able to structure jobs, education, and make sure that these people are self-sufficient. And because you have failed them, so the burden now falls on their family members abroad. It's similar to taxpayers having to pay for certain communities. When you don't do the jobs you're supposed to do and fail the people, their family members have to pick up the slack. So you have people who live here working hard, building homes for their people back home because there is no financial structure back home. So I will still continue to send money just because it's the human thing to do.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Goya is here for Wednesday. All things considered, I'm not sure whether he wants to go that well, but let's see here. What is on your radar this evening? What are you considering? Will you start sending money to Lofa County?
Well, Sandwave does not work in Lofa. That's the blessing we got. We don't have network there. The internet does not work there, so it doesn't reach there. So we're blessed.
That's no excuse.
I know, right?
But on a serious note, I understand what that person was trying to say. I don't know if the message is carried through the way they intended. I think what most times people who are talked to that make these statements, they're speaking from the point where we're about to file taxes, y'all. And you're about to see your W-2s that
somebody listening to something. I'm getting the audio feedback.
Sorry, that's me. That's my sorry, I'm in a strategic meeting on my phone.
The man is too important, though. He's too important.
This guy, man.
Top secret stuff is happening around.
I will make the announcement due course, but not right now. So the point people be trying to make though is that we're about to file taxes. You're about to see your W-2s and they're about to tell you you made this much amount of money. And you take a stock at your bank account and you can't see where it got spent. But you got a whole, sometimes people got a whole drawer full of Western Union, MoneyGram, and now send you these receipts that tell you how much money you spent, right? And I think that's where people looking at it from, like, look, I could keep some of this money here and invest in myself, invest in my 401k and retirement if I didn't have to send it back home. If people were making decisions and electing people who had country first and creating situations where those people don't have to be beggars. Look, nobody wants to be a beggar, right? Situation creates that. There is nobody who got children who is a human being, self-respecting, just want to be begging people for their daily sustenance. But people are forced into that. And so I think most times people are frustrated. They're thinking if you vote for the right people, they create the right economic conditions where people can come and invest and other people can have jobs. So I don't have to send as much money back home. Now, having said that, George Weah got elected. Some of my own family people voted for George Weah. My own little sister, when I told her, she said, and with flour living for the year cup. Now, what she told me? Any less than a month, she was calling me. Flower living for the year cut. When I said, oh, I want to for Joe, and I gave her money, say flower living for the year cut. So that's how she ended that conversation. In about a month later, she needed money to pay her children's school fees. Guess what? The dog year when I called no more. But I could not sit down though and allow my nephews and my nieces to not go to school. I had to send the money. Right. So you're gonna do it. So for me, I think the strategy has to pivot. What I've started doing to my family people is to tell them how much money I make here, what my expenses are, what it takes for me to take $100 and send back home. Why is it sometimes they ask me I'm not able to give because I don't have the time? And if they had a job, even if the job was not paying them a daily livable wages, that would be able to at least help me. If I'm sending $100, I will maybe send $75 or $50, right? So we all can live. And so that is the strategy I've been using, and it's actually been working on a lot of people. I said, "Oh, really? You mean I just make free money over there? No, we don't. Here's how much money I make. Here's how much my mortgage costs. Here's how much my car note costs. Here's how much everything," and I lay it out. And the other day, my little brother realized, he looked at me and said, "Whoa, brother, but how can you be afford to give out this money?" I said, "That's the point. We're always digging hole here to cover hole. So you got to help us now so you don't dig too much hole that we'll be able to cover it." And I think once we have that conversation with people and you talk about it, not from a demeaning point that I'm giving you money every time, so you should vote the way I want you to vote, but from laying it out that this is a symbiotic relationship. You and I must survive. And in order for us to survive, we have to make good critical decisions. Here's what I need you to do. Elect good people that will give you access to jobs so that I will be able to stay help you, but stay able to help myself. I think that's how I think we should be framing this conversation. But when we say it out in a way where it sounds like it's demeaning, that because people come to us and ask for help, therefore they have to vote the way we want them to vote without even telling them why, I think it takes away from the conversation.
Any contrary view?
I think he made his case. The man made his case. That's why he came with his face serious.
No, the thing about it, I know.
Yeah, Koto, we be speaking. Don't draw Koto. Koto myself, we cannot spill the platform so that don't draw.
The thing about it, you can't tell somebody I can't support you, but the reality is you may have a $500 problem. If you get $500 problem, I give you $50. That cannot solve your problem. So to say not sending money is difficult. You can't see your family member in a situation or suffering and just look at them to suffer. But we are saying where you'll be able to help yourself. If you can't help yourself, and you in a state of mind where you can make a decision now that you'll be able to be better off tomorrow, and don't take that decision now. The decision is left for you. You might regret it. But again, and the reason why I actually said that I agree with this guy is because there is a continuous thing. You educating people, you're talking to them, and they still doing the same thing. They are not changing from doing the same thing. Anybody else from international community look at that group of people, will say, "Oh, but then some of these people are lying." Okay, they are lying on the government, but then they leave from there and go. They don't even have full home to eat. What are you proving?
After Sissy declaration.
That's the reality. That's how I feel.
Executive Director.
So yeah, but okay, yeah, come in, Mali.
Yes. I think the issue discussed this evening is quite sensitive, but I have got a little formula. I try to recondition the whole process now. I realize sending money home every time. I realize it's not helping my people. So what I have decided doing now is I try to introduce a new strategy. I'm now trying to teach them. Oh God.
Well, it flip, because
boy,
the people not the person the thing you want to, they not agree with it. So, so what you need to do, you need to lock it up when you're rotating. You just need to lock it up. Let's see here. Okay, yeah. So the people now happy, they're not happy. So let's see what happened. That strategy not working with them. So the men for lofa.
No, that one that the liberal use a county on that one there.
Where is liberal, my bro? Where is liberal anyway?
Liberal. The liberal said, I think I come around my mouth to get myself into trouble. Liberal, no, I don't have no secret. Liberal, I don't got it. So he wants to be contained. If you he's scared. He want to run his mouth. You going to Liberia. So.
He said it. He said you gotta be very careful.
Yeah.
Oh,
but yeah, I saw about twisting something, and that's also been this election commission. Are they prepared the issue of this biometric? I saw Abu, and this is still hanging. And I don't know. We have a committees, right? There are committees in both houses of government. Nobody making any. If it is there, probably it's not visible. It's not within the public domains. I mean, there are oversight committees responsible for these autonomous and other agencies of government to get things functioning. And the people are saying no money, no money. Nobody's saying anything. Nobody calling them. Nobody is making to say why no money, why, or call the Ministry of Finance why this provision is not being made. Here we are now. How many more months? 3 major elections.
I think just this week though.
I want to say something about that.
They were at the legislature. Actually, there was a hearing recent. I think this week where the head of the election commission was somewhere at the legislature. They were asking some more questions. So yes.
But before
is that enough? Yeah,
well, they're doing the oversight responsibility, right? That's what they can do.
When she first brought up about the biometric process, they had a hearing and they asked her, would there be any problem to hinder the biometric problem? She said no. Is their phone available to carry on the process? Because we know that this process might be a high cost, that we're not looking at the feasibility, that it's going to be possible for the time frame you set it for. And she said she was very sure that she was very certain that it was possible. Why not complain? The National Election Commission said that. So I see no reason now she should be complaining that there is no money. From the hearing when she first brought up about the biometric, she went to the house there, and is
it fair to say something new has developed since?
Yeah, those were the reservation most of the people had, that the time was too short, and they didn't see it feasible that she could do it. But she insisted that it's possible that she could do it within the time frame.
Actually, she's complaining that there's no money because they have not funded her budget. They have not given her the money that she budgeted. So the question she answered was that given if they were going to fund the budget that they had approved, then yes, she wouldn't have the problem. But they approved the budget, didn't get a lot of money. So that's why she's still complaining there's no money. They passed her budget, they just didn't fund the budget.
That's who
just, but it is not her responsibility.
I think based on
the that's the finance ministry. I think should be responsible.
That's the point. So that's why recently they call her. I think they had the folks on the finance ministry recently coming in. They're doing their oversight work. Yes, Mr. So I will give you that it is a little late. As a matter of fact, when I listened to the press conference that the NEC gave about that thing Cotto was talking about, they were asked why were they doing a launch when the launch was being done without the technocrats. So that people who ask them technical questions about how this thing is going to work, what glitches they anticipate will happen, she said, well, this is a launch. When you're launching stuff, you just tell people we're about to do it. Then maybe later on in February, we'll bring the people and show the thing. How do you launch your stuff without having the technical people talk about what are out of the I don't know. I don't want to say a whole lot. But beyond, but apart from that though, it is funny how I was listening to you. I was driving actually coming home. Yeke Koluba has managed to get a NEC to make an announcement about electoral processes and guidelines. Yeke Koluba, Had he not gone and did whatever he did, the National Election Commission would not be talking about processes and people holding all the guidelines and they're sending their people out to see if people are violating the electoral guidelines. They'll not be doing it. They put sat right in Monrovia in front of the offices. The billboard was in front of the NEC office. And they're saying, we're telling all political parties and opposition and ruling parties to abide by the guidelines. If Yeke had not done what Yeke did, we won't be having this conversation today. So I think maybe sometimes, the only thing people understand sometimes is craziness, especially when living in a crazy situation. I guess that's what pays up now in Liberia.
You see a president, while they're talking about him, he go and start making music and throwing hints in the music. What sense does that make? Then you tell Yeke he shouldn't be behaving the way he behaved. If a whole president can make a music to start calling people initial and throwing hints at them. What's about Yeke? I support Yeke 100%. For me, I support him. It's childish for a president, sitting president. Come on, Mr. J, Mr. B, Mr. C. Who are you talking to? Does that make any sense?
They say JBC.
They got some oil in there because I think that some oil they were coming to be treating the way they're treating Yeke. They'll be friends with you. I can't stand that.
Actually, there's a remake to the song now. They added Mr. J to it.
I know who Mr. J is.
Who is Mr. J?
They added Pastor J. They added Pastor J to it. So
yeah. Prince Johnson.
Prince Johnson. Yeah. Prince Johnson.
The remake added J.
Yeah.
But they just they add a second J. Okay, this is why Abel is saying, shame on our political leader that cannot take a stand on such issues.
Of course.
Is that?
I read it. Yeah, it's true. And
for the most part, Yeke seems to be the guy to champion and be the voices for everybody, carrying two sambo. Poor Yeke, I mean, whole day screening. I imagine the kind of headache he'll go through when he goes to bed, the Tylenol, the painkillers that he takes, because he is, and I don't know.
And it's so bad for Yeke. Yeke right now cannot keep his family in Liberia. He basically kids. You know what it means when you don't have your kids that can't be with you from the time they were babies. Wow. They doing. They suffer those kids at the airport.
His language, his tone is so ridiculous, but most of the time,
Mr. So I keep saying, on here, I keep saying that the opposition will make a mistake every time we try to judge George Weah's communication by his eloquence, because we already know that it's not, but is he effective in communicating? Yes,
that's what
he's not eloquent, but he's a message that people understand. A message.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And so Yeke Kolba is abrasive, is in your face, but that's the same. He has the same communication style as the president to some extent. He talks, when he talks about he gave Joe we have football boots. And it was why he did when the president said, but the men where America they think cancer and football game. He's not a football game. So and then they put this right there into it is look, there is something to Liberian political rhetoric. Like we said, and we try to analyze the subject verb agreement and all of that. That is not what is happening right now in the Liberian landscape. If you put a listen to it, are those people who are just abrasive, like the Solomon George of yesteryear. Right, and you know what I'm talking about. And the Akara's great, and I can sit down. People say, "Paco, you're strong." The men who are teaching literature but does not know what simile is, right? Those people that get elevated to be academicians. I think that's what is happening. And to a greater extent, the CDC has a problem with Yeke because Yeke understands the mode of communication and he uses it so effectively, and he can get so in their skin, like under their skin, so bad. And do I like it? Would I communicate that way? Absolutely not. It does a yield results. We just saw that. NEC had to have a whole press conference talking about that.
So then, what becomes of these political parties? If we remove Yeke from the scenes of these sort of positions, these taking on these sort of conventional wisdom, if he's removed from the scene, what becomes of them? Because to some extent, I think yesterday somebody said this thing, you play with me now, I will go join CDC and CDC one CDC.
He
I know
only said
that is not what
that to make people
He
feel
was
sorry.
just saying that. He was
but
just
I know that's he's not going to do. But
He
from
said,
all
he said
indication,
anybody
the frustration in here now, I think is been it's rising on a daily basis.
I'm going to protest against Yeke Koluba. I'm putting it right here. Actually, Yeke is my cousin. His dad was my uncle. My mom is buried on the farm, on the Koluba's farm. If Yeke Koluba does not create a billboard to put their one Gonglo picture on it, we're going to have a problem. We already did it for Mr. C and Mr. B. We need Mr. G to be on there too. We won't make it all Jamaica record at all, but we won't be on the billboard.
So
yeah, the man is asking for support right now. He's going to put a cash app up for his support.
He said he's doing fundraiser.
Yes.
support.
And the five men are doing fundraiser. They asking, they say call the number now so we can put it. He said no, I won't call it because when I'm talking, I can be in my suit. So before the people get a number wrong, I will get to you. He even know how to raise money. Right on that show, people are saying so we can send the money. I said no, and I'm calling no number right now. When I call it, I can be in my suit. I will wait when I finish. I get you know?
It's so silly. He didn't even know how to raise no fun. He's shooting his own foot. He turning away money. No,
let's see here. I mean, tonight it just let's see here. Let's see this number 701 number tie 4658. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good evening. What's your name and where you calling from?
Yeah. 1 second. Hello.
Yeah, we're hearing you.
Yeah, Mr. Still, this is Teddy Ted Lion Yankum, calling from Fargo, North Dakota.
Teddy Ted Yankum from Fargo, from the oil industry. Good evening. Welcome.
Yeah. Thanks for accepting my call. You know, I just kind of differed with some of the statements from your panelists.
Okay, let's hear from you.
Yeah. The gentleman there, you know, I don't like the way he denigrated my president, you know, saying that he believes that the president is not an eloquent person, or whosoever person, you know, how that you know, perception of the president. The president is one of the most logical Liberian leader we ever had. Okay, you should accept that. But one thing I know that the oppositions are always intransigent of everything the president does. They refuse to accept the reality. This president, to give him the pass, you know, and that's wrong. The new dispositions of Liberia. First of all, CDC may not even, you know, leave power soon. The Liberian people will always embrace CDC, probably after George Weah. So, you know, folks who believe that they have in Liberia at heart, you should look at where the waves of the oceans is taking the ship.
Okay.
You could use Jumbo some way.
Mr. So don't let him go yet. Let me check him because this is how things happen.
Yeah, if you academicians that believe that you want to help the resuscitate this society, you have to, you know, you have to come up with, because President Weah is doing everything in way of leadership. He's doing everything possible in a human way to work with everybody. You have never heard any leadership or ever seen any leadership in your lifetime like that before. I'm 48-year-old man. So you my big brother there. I expect you know what happened to Liberians in the past and what happened to our country. And this person is committed to develop
Don't go. Hold on. Yes, you're not going. Ted, don't go. I get in the international call here too, but stay on the line.
Yeah, because you got to put some thing in perspective for these CDCs.
Yeah, don't go. Let me just pick up this caller here, making the international call. All right. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm calling from the UK, but for security reason, I don't want to call my name, and I will just call it like I will call my name as Mark. And I want to make a few points clear. Our country is dying, and one of your panelists said that the opposition leader are not speaking. And when there's laws, rules, and order. CDC has violated all the laws and the rules. The opposition leaders, they are law-abiding leaders. They have to respect the guidelines and the election laws. CDC have getting us in a mess. Let me say this. I'm from Banga, Bon County. And let me tell you something. This is my first time for my renters to tell me that things are difficult. The Liberian people can see for themselves how this guy called himself president have bringing our country down. The image of our country, when you look at our passport system, giving it to people that don't deserve to hold our passport, when you look at the massive corruption, you look at the murders, you look at the health care system, you look at the education system. Look, the Liberian people will not speak, but this year election, 2023, is going to be a silent vote. The Liberian people are keeping quiet, and they are afraid of their life. Who wants to put their life at risk to go down there and speak against those guys that are killing auditors, that are killing innocent girls? No report. And you telling me that one of your panelists said that the opposition are not speaking or the people are not speaking? The people are afraid of their life. Where the president will go as far telling people that everybody needs CCTV. Oh my God. This is my first time for me to see this country so bad situation. Our people are calling us every day to send them money. The pressure is on every one of us. When the country is in bad hands, even we that in the diaspora, we suffer. We feel the pain.
We feel it more than even the one in Liberia.
I want to say this to the Liberian people. Look, your futures and your grandchildren futures, great-grandchildren futures are in your hands. Make no mistake. The second time, this time around, you make the second mistake. We that in the diaspora, yes, you will be able to put food on our table and our children. But you that down there, you don't. Most of you guys down there call yourself youth. You don't even know the future of yourself or your children. And then you boasting all around in the name of loyalties to individual. We should have loyalty to our country. Our biggest problem in Liberia is no one has loyalty to their country. Everybody stands for the individual. And let me say this to the opposition's supporters that are in the diaspora. They are weakening us as well. The ANC supporters, they keep breaking us. They planted people in the opposition to destroy the oppositions. Look, most of the opposition supporters in outside Liberia, they are highly educated people. Why did you allow this to happen? Well, I'm sure that something good will come out of the opposition before the election. I want to say thank you for the brilliant show. I always listen to your show, and I want to say it's only Liberia we have, and we all can make this better if we speak to our people back home, and we all can join the process and make this guy a one-term president. Let me say this example. You see why the American people voted Donald Trump? It was not because of anything, because lack of management. He failed to unite and bring the country together. And the American people felt that the country was in a big mess, a dying situation. And they went for Joe Biden. They never went for Joe Biden because of his age. They never look at his age. They never look at his how he looked. Donald Trump was a star. He was a superstar that had everything. But the American people took that wise decision. And I hope
Thank you so much,
Liberian people will do that.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Mr. So.
Yeah, Nyakon is the other gentleman.
You stay on, right?
Yeah, because it's calling on.
Because look, let me talk to my younger brother because he said I'm his bigger brother. So let me talk to my younger brother.
Yeah, are you there now?
Yes,
when people are speaking, you see, that's why I like this platform. We don't do tabata here. When people are communicating, it would be very nice if you can listen to understand versus listen to respond. Never on this platform have I denigrated the president. The president, in his own speech, I'm about to give you receipt. In his own inaugural speech, there is a line in there. I hope you read your
1 second. I will bring you in. 1 minute.
There is a line in the president's inaugural speech that said he would not be known by the eloquence of his speech. But your own president said that before you went around and tell other thing. So that me saying it, or you got a problem with that? Even if the president had not said that, you haven't seen videos everywhere about him trying to explain the economic, the shortfall and the downfall, and then when there's a shortfall, supply cannot meet, then you haven't seen all of those? If you actually listen to the point I was making, was that George Weah might not be eloquent, but he is effective as a speaker. Never did I say he doesn't say anything logical. So sometimes, seditions, I get it. I don't want to generalize that. But sometimes it's okay when you listen to people, even the same thing that you don't agree with, listen to understand. Don't just listen to respond. And the last piece, you said, George, we are in our lifetime because you're a young man, and I'm much older than you. I'm a big brother, like you said. But in our lifetime, you're right. We have not seen any president like George Weah. You're right. I was just surprised you didn't run to the quick thing that you can always say hate, hate, hate. But we have never seen a president who would tell his citizens that you go and do your own security by CCTV. We've never seen that before, where he abdicated responsibility as the president of the republic. We've never seen walkabout president the day before. Every day he told other people, hold my account to your heart. Yeah, a parent didn't tell you nothing when I was small. My mind used to tell me, don't go, hold the go to the heart. So what a blast on it. He ain't ever so I have never seen a president who would abdicate responsibility to go to Jamaica Resort to sing music every day when serious things are happening. Instead of addressing the nation, he goes to the pulpit. We've never seen that before. So you're right, my brother. We have never seen a president who get his people sanctioned for stealing. And then they steal some more again. We've never seen that before. So, my brother, I do agree with you. In our lifetime, we've never seen the president who, every time he comes, there is violence. There was violence in District 14. Every election the CDC in office has conducted has been marred by violence. So, yes, my brother, I do agree with you. In my lifetime, as your older brother, I have never seen the president so derelict of duty as George Weah.
Hey, I cheer for you on that. Give it to him.
You made your case.
You're in church? Okay, let him speak, and then we're going to get a second caller on the line.
Yeah.
Okay, Ted, make your statement.
Yeah. First of all, the brother is only looking for negativities for the president, but see the good things, see the production of this president. In our lifetime, as a 48-year-old man, I've never seen a government that really used our taxpayer money and carry on some projects.
Taxpayer money?
Like what?
Let's listen to him. He's making his own case.
I want to ask.
Okay? This government have been committed to that. And when you talk about the CCTV matter, this president speaks figuratively. Our academicians, they keep crying, they keep trying to twist this particular statement, any statement of the president, they want to twist it in a negative way, from a manner. First of all,
thank you so much.
Our country is our bad duty.
It's going to be like offshore.
The president talk about CCTV matter. Obviously, individuals can back those things.
Okay, Ted, so thank you. Let me go to the second caller here.
It means nothing bad. It's something that you show.
Let my brother go work small and get some more oil. Let's listen. Don't take time and shoot.
Thank you so much.
Hello? Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me go to the next caller here. From New Jersey, are you there?
But like we're just being lazy. That's it. Lazy mindset.
Okay, then. Thank you so much.
Good morning and good evening.
How are you? Good evening.
How are you doing?
Great.
Yeah, I want to talk on two issues. The first thing is what the guy said that We shouldn't send money Africa or Liberia. I just want to say something. Some of us came here for our family. It is good we love our family. But for me, I promise my children, I'm sleeping in a chair in America. Even the clothes I brought from Africa, my Google clothes, I don't wear them until I go on occasion. Every Sunday they dress me. I promise them, if I was going to see any of them, the brother, the sister, the children, marching that day. So anything that I look for my fasting, I was not going to send it to them anymore.
I didn't hear
Why
what you
you
said.
were saying you don't like,
You say if they do what?
I said if I was going to see them marching that day, my $5, I was not going to send it to them anymore. Because we are struggling here for them. They're telling us the problem, they're catching hard time, they don't have this. Then the particular person that making you to be into the problem, you join them to get in the street to march for them. I was never going to send anything for them anymore. Then to the person I just spoke, it is true. A lot of things we didn't see the past and government doing, and they are doing it now. Up to this time, we don't know how many persons in Liberia yet still going for election. What are we going to? Thank you, Mr. So.
Thank you so much. Whoa.
Wow.
That's all. I wanted to say something about this guy's statement.
Yeah, I know a few. Okay, yeah, go. We get a few more in the next 15 minutes. We'll go. But I think since it's all things considered, there are a lot of calls could be coming. But go ahead if they come. The other one for Mama.
Yeah.
They call your for Mama. We'll talk. The other call. We're talking.
I think he said you should go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Koto.
Okay, I hear this guy saying about we see the development that we are is carrying on, and sometimes what they say, I don't know what they come from. Where since the development are going on, no other government have done the development in Liberia. I don't know where they're saying come from. That the only thing that is made doing, no other president have ever done it in Liberia.
You know what? Let's get the reaction of our people then tonight here, because since it's all things considered, they don't like to come. Let's hear. I think this gives us a perfect storm of all having conversation. Maybe we're not doing what we're supposed to do in terms of our communication. So let's see here. Let's hear from them here this evening.
We'll not be known by the eloquence of our communication.
Oh, Sissy, I beg you, please. 605-9452. Are you there? Good evening. What's your name and where are you calling from? Sissy.
Yes, good evening. My name is Ian Kapi Jr. and I'm joining from Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Man, we can't talk secret about it. Talk loud so we hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, control that volume a little bit here. So
can you hear me now?
Much better.
Yes, much better.
Thank you so much. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah. So thanks, Mr. So, and for this show this evening, your panelists, right? It's honorably and regrettably that our people who are in the country or other country, many of whom have lived the rest of their life here in America, and does not concern about the well-being of the country, would sit there and make them greeting statement about our country. And George Weah as a president, right? Take for example, many of the things that he does, right? Do you expect
you're here from Sufa, right? Let me just put you on hold. Let me take the international call. Don't go, okay? Right after the international call, I'll bring you back. Cora, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. So. How you doing?
Good. Let's hear from you. Where are you calling from?
My name is Anthony Ojugube. I'm calling from Paris right now.
Okay.
I'm constrained to call you today, this morning at this time at 3 o'clock, because I always listen to your show in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
But I just want to tell. Hello?
Yeah, we're listening. Go ahead, carry on.
Okay. I just want to tell the brother over there that when he's talking to the president of Liberia, it's in the United States. He should be very careful what he's saying to our president. To downgrade our president is not fair. You can't generalize all the citizens that kind of way. He's sitting in America eating hamburger. I guess he got nothing in.
Are you there? Oh, hold on. Oh,
I like hamburger and I have I come eating the burger.
Hold on 1 second. Hey, man, I think I'm losing. Please call back at probably was my.
Is it eating hamburger?
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead quickly. While in the meantime, hopefully, what his Go ahead quickly.
I left fire tonight.
605. Go ahead.
So like I was saying, right, is regards with the silence that people would sit here in the diaspora and want to denigrate the country and know that things are now going worse in Nigeria. As a leader, right, you must be able to make informed decisions that affect the lives of the people. That's one of the primary goals. I mean, people say, oh, George Weah, he's a good man. He has the SYs, the people that surround him that make the decision. I mean, we cannot hold anybody responsible for the decisions that George Weah is making. He's a leader. He took on the challenge. That's why he said he wants to be president of Liberia. And if you want to be president of a country, you should know the ways that come with it. You cannot say that George Weah has been the only president SYZ that.
All right. Thank you so much. Let me go to the next caller here. Thank you so much. 405 number, are you there?
Yeah, so, Mr. So, good evening.
Good evening. What's your name and where are you calling from?
This is Abraham. I'm calling from Oklahoma City.
Welcome.
So,
go ahead.
Good evening to you and your panelists.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy the show. I enjoy the show. Let me say to my brother from the Taiwan Gonglo, and I know the election 2023 will be held to what then. Forget about all those things that the election commissioner is saying. Look, this elections is one of the elections that you will go back to 2011. If 2011, if any of you guys were in Liberia 2011, if anybody have told anybody in Liberia that Madam Sali was going to win the election 2011, nobody going to believe it. I know people are going to say, I know people say, oh, 2011 is different from 2023. Let me tell you something about the voters in Liberia. We all from Liberia, I always say it, we all from Liberia. But some of us have left Liberia a long time. We get people there. Today and tomorrow, Taiwan Gogole is elected, you will still send money to Liberia. Tomorrow, if Joseph Baka is elected, you will still send money to Liberia. Cummings, you will still send money to Liberia. So if you're making the politics tie around, sending money to Liberia is the only time you send money to Liberia is time George Weah became president. Then you are lying to your people. You are lying to yourself. You are not being truthful. You know very well during Madam Sali time you send money. During prime time you send money to Liberia. So what are you saying? We will still send money to Liberia. But I'm just saying, the election will be free, fair, and transparent. Nobody will rig elections. I know when we're in the opposition 2011 was saying, because people say, oh, Madam Sali rigged elections and the election was free. Yes, it was some glitches here there. It was a problem, but the election went on and we didn't go to the second round. So Madam Sali won the elections. But I would say these elections will go ahead and those who register, they will register and whoever wins. But I know my candidate, I know Tom Gogolo there will be shining.
Who your candidate? But we hear your candidate. You're doing my candidate. Who your candidate?
I'm supporting the president.
Okay.
But you hear the man calling Gonglo ni. You know, when they put a scale of Gonglo, that the people in April are scared for all the sweep. So
this is where the unison comes in. Even though he's on the other side, but he's making the laughter. That's how we're supposed to be talking about our country,
Let me just tell you something, brother. I'm telling you today, Mani Ibrahim, I'm telling you today, 2029, I'll be looking at Gonglo and, I'll be looking at Gonglo. Look, the ANC people must be very careful with Gonglo. If they're not take out, Gonglo will steal the show from them. The ANC people. I'm not talking about Joseph Baka people. Joseph Baka, if I forget it. About him.
They thought it is strategic. He spent his time talking, his time to leave now, then you throw a bomb, then you get off the line and go.
All right, my man. Thank you so much.
I'm telling you, you and myself will be on the campaign 2029.
Why are you sending Gonglo to 2029? The man talking about
2029. The man in 2023.
Wait. Mr. So I beg you if I go. But they said no. They said no. They said no. Where you know Gongo cannot jump that up, man. Yeah, man. I want to see the thing. Where? You know, you will get something. But you can't go to the second round. Talking about 2029, say, you must not be that, my brother.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, for the re-election, we're bringing out 2029 for the re-election of Gonglo.
Thank you so much. All right. It's better late than never, but this is quite interesting. I think probably with the group consensus, maybe we can talk that. I think the conversations about our country, perhaps we need to reshift or maybe do more if we are not doing for whatever reason, because it seems to be that when people talking, other people, they just look at the first phase of your talking without conclusion and judgment is rendered. And that's how things went off the road in Liberia, that even led to the destruction, because we were unable to, we're impatient to listen to people, even if they are cursing us, but we're impatient. By the time the first 1-2 words come out, that person is already being convicted. Something is responsible for that. And yet I know there are some other people who are ridiculous when it comes to the way they address the president. But there are other intelligent ones. They take their time to explain what they differ with, but yet then say is everything still being blamed out, and to say that the president is more hated, or people do not like the president, or they hate the president. That is a serious problem. And I think this is another chain that those who want this office, they have to manage to persuade majority of the people that get that kind of concept. Because I don't care how you say it, how you twist it to be. It is not understood. It's been seen differently. Guys, I don't know. Maybe I'm jumping ahead of my shadow here. Because I know what you say. I know my matter, but that's not what you say. You were just saying, and you didn't even say. And I did hear you saying, not even all sedition, but still, it mattered to be twisted.
So eat your hamburger.
Eat your hamburger. Should go eat hamburger.
Matabagi hamburger is what I'm eating right now.
No, to be frank, Mr. So, we have serious comprehension problem in Liberia.
Yeah.
Serious comprehension. And the thing about it is they won't sit and analyze what somebody is saying. Because if for any reason somebody says something, I will try to look at the pros and the cons of what the person is saying. But if you just made up your mind of what you think the person is saying, that's how you think, you will not understand what this person is saying. The only thing, what they think the person is saying, not what the person is saying. So it's comprehension problem. Because you will analyze, okay, the person said, I should have done this. Okay, you only think the person said they will do this. So it's a serious, and I have seen it over the time. People don't comprehend. You just come up with a statement. The moment you just give a word, before you can conclude your sentence, somebody have mistaken it, for another thing. And it's very bad, and that's why we have led to war. And today, again, we making the wrong judgment and little regret of our judgment we made. Listen to what somebody is saying. If they are saying nonsense, let the person complete what he has said, and then you try to comprehend and take the good part of what the person has said. But it's actually this.
George to know. That quoting represents George, so he said no saying material same from inside, keep the no.
Exactly.
But on a serious note, Mr. So, we run a credible platform here, right? And all the jokes aside, all of the fun with the guy who called aside, we have been on this platform saying that it is disrespectful for anybody to denigrate the presidency.
That's correct.
And so, if you have followed this platform, you will hear me here say over and over that I fought the academicians in the opposition that tends to look at George Weah's speeches and look at his subject for agreement and don't look at the context, the content he's trying to deliver. That was the point I was making. I was making the point that George Weah is actually an effective communicator. We don't have to always look at whether the subject and verb agree. And I was saying that's the same way Yeke Koloba communicates. We might not like it, but he is effective in communicating, and this guy get mad. So let me lay out here. I would never disrespect the president. I would never insult the presidency, whether it's George Weah, whether it's Madam Ellen that I had a lot of issues with, whether it will be Joseph Boakai, Tiawan Gonglo, or Alexander Benedict Cummings, or my sister Magdalena Cooper. I would never disrespect the office of the presidency or whoever occupies that. I would disagree with President George Weah. I would lay out my disagreement, but I would never insult the presidency, and I never did. I was making a point about the way people communicate in Liberian politics.
Look, let me say something.
Yeah.
Okay. And Mr. Mullen, how you doing? Is Scott here? Is Scott here? Oh, okay.
You can see me.
You don't see her.
So,
You see me? It's dark. The man can't see.
Here's the thing here.
Mr. Mullen, go again. Mr. Mullen,
the device you're killing him.
Did he change his clothes when he came back?
These institutions, they got very thin skin. When they go about insulting other people, other political leaders, people don't get angry. But by the time you call George Weah name, the first thing they say, you hate the man, and that's the message they have managed to quote. That everything you say,
that's right.
They hate this man. They don't like this man.
All right.
That's the thing they continue to do. Look, there's a video. I'm still looking for that video. George Weah, he referred to Ambassador Boakai during the campaign. He called her a name. I'm still looking for that video. I just forgot. I forgot I didn't save that video. The way he addressed that man. If I address George Weah today, then the whole play will blow again. But these are the things
we don't do that here anyway.
No, I'm just saying something. I'm not repeating myself. But if I did it, this whole play will blow again. But when they do it, they have no problem with it. They got no problem with that. And I always say this thing. What George Weah, the way he addressed other people, he go after comments, he go after but when Yeke Koloba talk, then they say, oh, why are you allowing Yeke Koloba to say what he's saying? I always say, I cannot say what Yeke Koloba says. But it's the means of communication that they understand. Because when George Weah come and tell Yeke Koloba, hey, you didn't come from go home, you said red. Now you call it as a representative that he was said red. Now when the representative respond, he say, oh, this guy is being insulting. If you tell me like you're talking about my parents, because my parents are the one that reared me. And if you tell me I come from a house, I was said red, that means referring to my parents. So when Yeke Koloba responds, then they say, oh, Yeke Koloba insult the president. But look what the president
okay. Mr. George, Walkabout, I can see the Monday body. We are about to so yeah. Look, but on a serious note, I think probably we need to find a new voice in terms of there's something people still not getting. It's like a public speaker, right? People, you should know your audience. You should know where to carry those big words and things, and you should know where. Speaking is just about communication. Say something that people will understand, that will hear you. You know what I'm saying? People start wondering, what is he saying? What is she saying? Then you are not communicating. I think it's a big problem because and some people their loyalty does not in any way understands. There's no line of reasoning. I don't care how you say it, how you do it, the way they see it, that how they're going to do it. Can we change our tone, or what do we need to do something else to change the narrative? Probably that's one of the reasons. It could be because people don't see it that way. And maybe we need to be more tolerant or patient and listen to them and see whether we will have that strength to persuade them. That could possibly be. But guys, as usual, time has caught up with us here this evening. It was great. I think it was good hearing from our viewers. You know, it's a learning process. And I think it's the country not for only two all of us here is for them. So they have their views, their opinion. That's why we don't sanction voices on this network. As long as being expressed in a civil context, we give people the opportunity, even when they're having an exchange online, they can disagree with or they can call or whatever way. As long as done in a civil context, I think that's the bottom line. What are we taking away? Tonight was quite fascinating with some callers and other people who must not send money. My daughter down there, my late nephew, deceased brother, Cherry, I will not send money. No, I don't. That other solution, don't even tell me that one. I will not go with it. But these are different views. So people kind of like putting out there. Cece, what are you leaving with us?
Well, I'm leaving with you that you owe me more money now because I came on and spiced out the show with my one comment. So now I know how to get people to call in a lot. I just got to tweak it a little bit. But all joke aside, it's been exciting. You know, it's always a good thing when we can agree, you know, or disagree amicably. You know, everybody's going to have a side. We all love Liberia. We all just have a different way of loving Liberia or different way of showing our love for Liberia. You know, but you know, the issue of sending remittances to Liberia, the other caller hit it, you know, right on the nail, on the head. We've been doing this from time immemorial. It's not because of George Weah. As a matter of fact, I just got some videos sent to me in my inbox about trying to do a fundraiser for a child right now that's on dialysis. They're charging them, I think, $80 per day, and the mother sells in Jongbeta market, you know, selling cucumber. How much is she gonna afford $80 US until she can get her kidney transplant? So I'm about to do another fundraiser. Liberia is all we got. What a Congress president, I will still be doing fundraiser to raise money for orphanages, to raise money to get people to hospitals, to fly people out of the country to go do surgery. We still got to do that. We are Liberians. That's all we know how to do is to help one another. So regardless of the president, my only thing is that I think we need to explain to these people that, yeah, you know, with this child that needs $80 a day for dialysis, if the mom was empowered, maybe mom could provide $50 per day, and it will be easy on me to raise $30 per day, right? But now I got to do the entire $80 per day. So that's just the point we're trying to make. But I don't think we should be holding people hostage and say, if you don't vote, we don't give you money, or we kind of demean them that say, oh, you voted for Joe, so I can get you money. I got people in the CDC, real hardcore CDC, they will wear their beret and take a picture and send it to me. And the next time they will text me, "Sion, brother, I ain't get no money on my phone. I'll send them the money on the phone." They come and they see, show they insult me, my own data I put in their phone. But that is the beauty of family, right? And so I never take that against them because I need to hear them. I will give them I put the data and they come and cost me. I need to hear what they think. So I think we have to find a way to explain to people what the economic consequences are without trying to demean them with the money we send them. You know, that's my own tabata I get to talk.
Thank you so much. Dr. Toronka?
Well, it certainly was a fascinating evening coming back.
What a great way to work. It's a great way to work.
What a great way to come back.
You said, don't send money. You said, no, I will send my money.
I will send my money. I was still going to send my money. But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, we are in election season. And I think sometimes our conscience gets shocked because we know the country is in dire need. And we have to understand that our president has extremely loyal people to him because Liberians are emotional voters. We don't vote. And I'm just saying we as a general, we are not voting by party lines. We're not voting, because we have loyalty to a certain, we are emotional voters. And what he has effectively done was stoke the emotions of the people he has been with. Good or bad, he has stoked their emotions. And quite frankly, as they said, the mere fact that he is the president, we will respect the office of the president. There is a respect for the office. Whoever sits in that seat, you respect the office. And I know there was a comment that said, other than I read it, that we guys we're lying. We always insulting the president here, but when we are calling out some of his failures in his policies, the failures in his economic structure, they call it insulting. So that's what we just have to accept, that you're dealing with people who who, if you say he has failed in this, his economic structure, failed in this, they say we're insulting him. But let it be clear, that's not insulting. If anyone who is running for the highest seat of the office, we have to call you because we hire you, we're electing you to do a job for us. And there's a criteria for that job based on what you said you are going to do for us. And you're not doing it, we have to call you out on it. I know one of the things that we're struggling with in the MOL, which is Magdala Cooper, is look, listen, I spoke to her, I said, look, you got to get known, because there's no way we will just jump out there miraculously win the election. We got to get to the people. The people have to connect with you, and and not just connect with you physically, but emotionally. So we are certainly excited, and I always end with her because she's really, really gearing up for preparation, because she understands the dynamics of what they're against, which is trying to make this president the one-term president. I strongly believe that she's going to bring a great dynamics to this race when we come out. And I told her also, for the sake of thing, I said,
Oh no. Oh no. That Amos George caused that. That's Amos George.
Why every bad thing is always
that was Amos George for interfering with your line.
Oh no.
Yeah, go ahead. We're not getting. You see?
Oh boy.
Okay. All right. We got more to do. All right. Okay. Koto.
Thank you, Mr. So. I listened to the callers and started to think how people understand when people say something, and we still talk about the comprehension thing. Nobody is saying that even with past government and present government, that Liberia, there will be no way for people to send money in Liberia. That's not what we are saying here. But the level at which money is being requested for now is more than ever before. People who could afford to take care of their family, responsible people who were working and take care of their family, are no longer responsible enough. Because if you see certain kind of person telling you, can you just send me just $10 or $20? That is completely different from the way we sit and just take money monthly and send it to your family to eat. And this is what we're talking about. Because I won't sit there and say I'm here and working and won't be able to assist my my people back home. But the degree at which it is what we are speaking about. Because if a person cannot even afford their daily meal, how can they afford their rent to pay and even afford the rent their children's school fees then before other things? So that's the level to which we are talking. And for me, I don't hate George Weah as how many of his supporters think we are. But we have to raise up issues that is not, beneficiary to the country. If we have a president that is sitting, a sitting president cannot come up with issues that is affecting the people. When we speak about it, we should be precise to speak about it and let him take the decision against what is affecting his government. You have a president who have been in power almost 6 years. He had officials have been considered corrupt. He could not even dismiss them until the U.S. ambassador or the U.S. have to interfere. With so many killings that are going on, and he sits there and come out to say, "Oh, these people were lovers." And with so many issues, the way he handled it does not be handled as professionally as a president to handle issues. And that's what we are talking about. Because if you have a responsibility as a nation, the people expect you to stay as a father, speak as a father of the nation. You can go there and throw trash at people and you expect them, to feel good. And that's the situation our people are in. And we must stop these things. So I know you guys feel bad, but I don't care where it is. It is not because we have other candidates that we're supporting. you know, that we have to say these things, but these are just the realities.
That's
If you
the
say
reality.
anything because you just love, you know, the person cannot do wrong. You know, I have my stepmom, you know, they used to laugh at her. They used to say her son is ugly, but she used to kiss her son. And so, oh, she said she kissing baboon, but that's just the love she has for her son. I don't care why you laugh at her son and call her baboon. That was her love. Okay? So as I understand the pain that they go through, that Joshua is their love. And they don't want anybody saying anything, you know, bad about their love. Yeah,
About
but
their
that's
love.
the reality.
All
Okay.
right. Amos Joyce, let's
Yeah,
hear
no.
from you quickly.
Let me
That
see.
was a good one for me about their love.
You know,
Dr.
yesterday,
Blanca,
instead of
you are trying to break, you are trying to say something before you got frozen. Was that something you were trying to say, I think, about Mandela Cooper? Or, oh. Well, all right, Amos Joy, go ahead.
Yeah, what you
yeah,
talking
you
about?
know, we talked this thing about it. Just yesterday, the State of the Union, Marjorie Green, while the president was speaking, screamed and called him a liar. Yesterday, Marjorie Green from Georgia went up and called the president a liar, Joe Biden. Today, America didn't break down because someone screamed, a representative screamed and said, liar. They are going on. But by the time you call one person this, they say you insulted the man. So, I mean, what they want us to do, what they want us to do, we just have to call it as it is. Although sometimes it's tough, but we just got to call it as it is. Hey, I know sedition, they quit to threaten people. I mean, that's something normal for them. When they threaten you, then they say, okay, that's a means of trying to silence people. Because you say person where is doing this, they say, oh, you don't see it. You talk down the man. They just say the man is not educated. You dislike the man. They come up with all these stories. But I was saying, but I never met Joe. We are with your personal. I don't know him. What I talk about is policy for the country. So yeah, if you disagree, come up, not discuss it. Just bring your facts. I bring mine. We'll compare and see who is saying the truth. But other than that, they will go about telling people what they want to tell. And this is about. Well, Cecil, let me just say the thing to you, Cecil. Did you listen to Costa interview yesterday? Costa.
Which one? The one about the guy Shake? Yeah, I saw a little bit of it, but I was at work, so I didn't watch the entire thing.
Look, and let me say this to all of us that come on this platform. What that guy said at the end of that interview, it means that all of that come on a different platform talking about the government. These guys got full record of each and every one of us. He said when he went to get his citizen paper, they pull out a sheet. They said, but what have you done in the country that this government wants you so dearly? And he said, nothing. So to tell you that these things we're talking, and some of the comments that people make, we laugh at it, but it's serious. Serious. I tell people, you go to Liberia, you gotta be careful.
I don't.
Yeah, Mr. So you were saying, okay, but someone who was working the security apparatus and start telling him what he saw, what was about to happen to him, and calling names. You can overlook it, but for me, hey, this is the only thing I got. When someone take it, I'll be gone. The rest is history. So, Sissy, continue to eat your hamburger.
Well, all right, guys.
By the way, the taxes on my hamburger, some of them ended down with USAID project in Magibi with that hospital to hospital.
Yes.
So my hamburger.
The ambassador is the new justice minister in Liberia. The ambassador now is the new justice minister. He got to be threatening the government to take action. Can you imagine that? The ambassador is the new justice minister in Liberia.
All right, that I don't know about. Thank you so much, guys.
Oh, you scared that you going to Liberia too?
Oh no! Wow, I was in Liberia. Hold on, last year, but almost 2 times in about. No, to be honest, I hang off with people. I can tell you, even let me just say this.
I saw one picture of you with a beret. I saw I saw you on one blue beret one time. I said picture. I got somebody sent it to my inbox.
Red, not blue.
Oh, that a red one. I keep it.
Don't mind us so that Joe. We are talking
Let me just tell you, a senior government minister, deputy minister, schoolmate, I don't want to call his name here, call. Like those guys, they monitor. That's the fact. Yeah. But what I can say, but most of them do appreciate what we do, even though the default, the language might sound strong, but nobody insult here. They are so, there's some strong views, different views that people express. But why no sedition? So I said, comrade, do you call one? I said, we have Professor Zavlo here, who volunteered as a contributor. Since Zavlo left, nobody. I went to the library, I went on a psychometry. I met Moluba Molu and asking, hey, we always have a national conversation. We want all parties, everybody, interest group. So Zavlo, then the first thing I can add is about Zavlo being a superintendent does not mean he can't stay there, so he can be there. I like, yeah, I mean, he's a senior almost government. But can you sense I've talked to the CDC chair lady here? You guys were here. They came one, but anyway, right now she's in Liberia. So we don't. No, she's in Liberia now, right now. So we don't sanction voices here.
My Minnesota sister, don't put me in trouble, Mr. Josh. So I don't run nobody out of here. I stay near another election coming on. I need everybody vote.
Your baba. Go to our many viewer listener. Even if you are watching, you are if it's stronger. These people here, Amos Joy, ANC didn't send him here. Say Tiawan Gonglo didn't send him here. So if you're here and you think you're a strong sedition, you think you want to defend CDC position here, you are most welcome. Let us know. We'll just bring you in here. Just get prepared with the arguments and be persuasive. That's all about it. So all of these people that are here, they are here at their own volition because they believe in those people that they support. So if you are here following, if you're a strong sedition and you think you want to make your presence felt, we have done everything possible we can. And since Zavlo left, I mean, we have Ketoya, who is a pro-government supporter, but by virtue of the Constitution, you say you're a pro-government supporter. He didn't say you're a sedition, but if you're strong, if you feel you're a sedition and maybe things that we say here is disproportionate, let us know. We will bring you here, and trust me, I mean, you will have your say. We will give you the opportunity. But it is why it is. I believe in the rule of law, and nobody will insult the president here. The president is the president. In as much people will be different, we do not agree with some of the language, the tone being deployed, the descriptions of the president. But at such a hostile ground, we are. And it's both sides. The opposition, when you listen to certain network, they describe the descriptions of other people, how they talk about people. You come on the other side. That's how they do it. That's the volatile word that we find ourselves in within the political space, unfortunately. But we like to focus more or less on the issue here. If this is the first time here, where we say thank you for sharing your evening with us. We always here follow us, like the page, so that you will get a notification. We will not, as a moderator, as an anchor, and this is why when people call in, we allow them to speak their mind, what they believe in. We would never, because your seditions or whatever, and sanction people's voice. No, it will never happen here on my watch. And all of the guys, they know that we have our own basic rules. We can argue here, we can disagree, and that's part of the intellectual conversation. So there will be some description, there will be some words used. It might sound so strong, but would never be insultive to the presidency, and not even to mention to the office of the presidency of the Republic of Liberia. That I can guarantee. If anybody say here to the extent that it's not right, we will call you out. And if it's something, the network will apologize. Or for people to have different policy with how the government is being conducted, we also found on the oppositions of some of the things that they do. They brought in people to say they're not going to do things different, but they brought other people in what make no difference. So they have to answer some of these tough questions, and we do talk about that. But if you strongly believe that you want to be heard, and because of you love your party, also let us know. We'll bring you here. Trust me. And Dr. Turanka says something here. The loyalists of seditions is amazing. And it's something that is strongly believed. Almost like up to now, some Trump supporters, they still believe that the elections was a regular election, that in fact Joe Biden is not the elected president. Can you imagine that? You're in a free war. So why may you think the people can't even defend their president? The president speaks a language that his base understand. So when opposition think they're going to be looking at the grammatical error or how the president pronounced this other big word from that big word, if they think that's what's going to make them win, then they're going to be a big surprise. They need to figure a way how to communicate, how to make their message, to listen to sedition's argument and see whether they can be persuasive and get them over. But if you say, okay, the man is a sedition, she's a sedition, so I don't want to talk to them, that's not a good political strategy. You don't need to waste time to where you have your base. You need to talk to people who disagree with you. Unfortunately, that's the lack of political tolerance of our politicians, and that's why they are struggling. ANC feel comfortable going to ANC platform. Sedition feels comfortable going to sedition platform. Liberty Party is the same way. Who told you we don't reach out to all of those people? We reach out to them, but some of them, they feel that, well, so or the other group, whatever reason. But our job is to reach out. The day they feel free, they want to come here, trust me, we have them here as well. Until then, every good thing must come to our end. We want to thank you so much for your time this evening. Have a pleasant evening. I am Afonso Z and Sort of the Liberia Public Radio. Bye-bye.
Encore la magie, et puis à des démons. Adesión da tu hey hey Adesión da tu